In our video today, we're going to be looking at how we clear an equation of fraction. So let's get right to it. So here we have 2x over x minus 3 plus 5 over x plus 3 equals 36 over x squared minus 9. So the first thing we have to do is look at our denominator to see how we can actually simplify the fraction that we have. So we have an x minus 3, an x plus 3, x squared minus 9. So by looking at this, we can tell right away what our denominator is, or what our common denominator is here, because we have the difference of 2 squared, x squared minus 9. So of course we know that x squared is the x times x, and then of course 9 is also 3 squared, which would be which could be rewritten as, and I'm going to put this as a side note, as x squared minus 3 squared. So here you can see that we have the difference of 2 squared, and in order to rewrite this, we would end up with x plus 3, x minus 3. So if you notice here, we have x minus 3, x plus 3. So of course, our common denominator here is x plus 3, x minus 3, because x squared minus 9, which is x squared minus 3 squared, is the same thing as x plus 3, x minus 3. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite both of these. I'm going to erase this. So I'm going to rewrite this as, of course, 2x, x minus 3 plus 5 over x plus 3 equals 36. And again, instead of saying x squared minus 9, I'm going to say x plus 3, x minus 3. So I can erase what I have here. So now that I've rewritten x squared minus 9 in the form x plus 3, x minus 3, I can go ahead and find the LCM. So LCM again is x plus 3, x minus 3. So now we can go ahead and simplify. So x minus 3 into x plus 3, x minus 3, I'm left with 2x times x plus 3. Plus, I have x plus 3 into x plus 3, x minus 3. So of course we know that this x plus 3 cancels this x plus 3. So I have 5, which is my numerator, times x minus 3. And all of this is equal to x plus 3 times x minus 3 into itself is just 1. So I'm just left with 36. So now that I have my fraction like this, I can go ahead and remove my denominator and solve for x. So I have 2x, x plus 3, plus 5, x minus 3 equals 36. So I'm going to go ahead and distribute the 2x term to the different terms in my parentheses and solve. So 2x times x, that gives me a 2x squared. And I'm adding that to, again, 2x times 3. 3 times 2, that's 6. So it's 6x plus, I'm doing the same thing here. I'm going to distribute my 5 to these two terms. So I have 5 times x, and then 5 times negative 3. So plus 5 times x, that's just 5x. And then 5 times negative 3, that gives me a negative 15, which is all equal to 36. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this up here. So I'm going to use this line to separate so we can see what we're doing. So we have 2x squared. So I'm going to rewrite 2x squared here. I have a positive 6 plus 5x. Positive 6x plus 5x, that gives me 6 plus 5 is 11x. So plus 11x. And then I have a minus 15 equals 36. So minus 15 equals 36. So now if you see what's going on here, I'm going to go ahead and pull the 36 to the opposite side of the equal sign. I will end up with a quadratic equation, then I will solve. So I have a negative 36. I'm going to move it over as a, sorry, I have a positive 36. I'm going to move it over as a negative 36. So I have 2x squared plus 11x. I have a minus 15 minus 36 equal 0. So 2x squared plus 11x minus 15 minus 36, that's minus 45 minus 51 equal 0. So now if you notice here, I have 2x squared plus 11x minus 51 equals 0. So I'm not done yet because I still have to factor to make sure I solve for my my x. So I have 2 as the coefficient of the x squared term. In order to factor, I must first multiply the 2 by my constant, and then I will have to find a number that I can add to get my 11x, but multiply to get 2 times negative 51, in this case negative 102. So I'm going to go ahead and just put an arrow here to show that I'm multiplying. So I'm multiplying 2 times negative 51. So I'll end up with 2x squared plus 11x, and then minus 51 is equal to 0. But of course, we know that 2 times negative 51 is negative 102. So I'm just going to do a side note here, and then I'll erase it. And we still have our 11x. So I'm trying to figure out a number that I added to get 11x, but multiply to get negative 102. So I can play around with numbers. So if I have 11x here, I could do 6x plus 5x. That would give me 11x. But if I do 6 times 5, that's just 30. So I'm not there yet. So I can try other numbers as well. Now let's try saying negative 6x and positive 17x. So if we have negative 6 plus 17x, that will give us 11x here as well. And if we have a negative 6 times 17, that also gives us 102. So this is a 2 number that we are looking for, negative 6x and positive 17. So I'm going to go ahead and erase this so that we can go ahead and solve the equation that we have. So again, this is pretty much trial and error. You try to see which 2 numbers will work. When you find those 2 numbers, you can go ahead and plug it into the equation that you have. So I did write this twice, so I'm going to go ahead and erase this 11x and instead go ahead and substitute it with, let me erase the whole thing. It was a 6x. It was a negative 6x, so negative 6x and a positive 17x, and of course that would end up giving us positive 11x, but when we multiply it, it gives us that 102 that we get by multiplying 2 times negative 51. So of course, minus 51 equals 0. So now we can go ahead and factor by separating 2 terms using parentheses. So here we have a 2x squared minus 6x. I'm going to pull out the common factor. In this case, the common factor is 2x. And I end up with 2x into 2x squared. That leaves x minus 2x into 6x leaves 3. Plus, again, I'm going to go ahead and pull out that common term here. So it's 17. And then, of course, whatever is left, I'll put it in parentheses so that it equals to 0. So 17 into 17x leaves x, and then 17 into negative 51 is a negative 3. So now I have 2x times x minus 3 plus 17 times x minus 3 equals 0. So now that I have this, I can go ahead and write this as 2x plus 17 multiplied by x minus 3 is equal to 0. Now, when I have this, I can go ahead and solve for x. So I'm going to set each of these two expressions equal to 0. X minus 3 also equals 0, and then I can solve. So 2x plus 17 equals 0 makes 2x equals negative 17. And then, of course, x is equal to negative 17 over 2. Or my x is just equal to a positive 3. And this right here is how you clear an equation of the fractions.